Let's get back to the historic arraignment of former President Donald Trump, pleading not guilty to 37 federal charges related to his alleged mishandling of classified documents.
So to talk about this more, we're going to bring in former Georgia congressman and host of the Doug Collins podcast, Doug Collins. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Now, I want to get your reaction on his arraignment and what this ultimately means as an historic event in U.S. history.
Well, it is a historic event, and looking at it from the perspective now, I think is we got to look at this now. The tables turned to the prosecutors and the prosecutors only. They have to prove the case that they brought against us. I think Donald Trump and his legal team have brought out a lot of things that they're going to be bringing up, especially in the pretrial motions and things. This is, not yet to trial. There's going to be a lot to go on before it ever gets there. But with everything going on around it, it's just the double standard that's being set. The perception, as you had on earlier, with people on the street, this is, an issue that has been dragging on, and then to take it up like they have, we'll see. Is it serious charges? Yes. But at the same point in time, the prosecutors have to make these cases. Donald Trump, I think, has his defense team on board with this, and we'll see where it comes from. But it is sort of a sad day that this is what we're talking about in a time and age in which we have so many issues going on in our country. This politicalization of the DOJ is the main topic of conversation.
Congressman, we already have these two cases that you just spoke about looming over, President Trump's head. And now we have to turn our heads to the great state of Georgia, where a third indictment could be coming down. That's relating, obviously, to the 2020 election that reports that Atlanta is looking into how to increase security measures already. Now, I'm sorry, but at this point, a third indictment, it really has to look like they're just out to get this guy no matter what. And this could actually come down before the summer is what we're hearing. What have you been hearing about it?
Well, it could. The DA down here actually put out a memo about a couple of months ago now, before the Alvin Bragg indictment in New York, basically alerting the officials in Atlanta and Fulton County that this possibly come in the late July, early August timeframe. So they've been preparing for this. Look, I think the interesting thing here is this is something, if you've been watching this for the last 2.5 years, it's been looked at, it's been coming, we've been talking about, well, now it's here. And I think some of these have been held for a while. We'll see. This one in Georgia has been very close hold. I mean, you don't see a lot of it. You had a little bit of the grand jury, talk about when the report came out, but it's been very quiet. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens down here. But it is, a piling on effect. I think that is, again, it makes it appear, especially when you have cases like Alvin Bragg's, which is just, pure politicalization. Then you got the DOJ, and then you got, these others coming on. I think it just makes it difficult for people to look at it in a just a logical, rational view.
Now, there was one case you left out there, another case that the former president was riled into this year. And this is a civil one, though, so there's no indictments here. That's the one with E.G. Carroll. Now, a trial date has now also been set in the defamation case, and this is in January before the primary. Do you think there is a possibility that Trump drops out of the race, or does all of his attention that he has been getting from these cases just continue to help him along the way?
I think your ability to get to Arizona 120-degree weather will be much more a likely scenario than Donald Trump dropping out of this race. I just don't think so. It's not. But look, that's not the only ones you missed. There's still the case with the Trump Organization and with Letitia James in New York. There's also still the January 6th investigation going on by the same special prosecutor that has filed the charges in the documents case. And now even we're hearing leaked again from the main. It's amazing to me the mainstream media doesn't talk about anything Biden, anything Hunter, anything, anything. None of that actually matters. The recordings, are they existing or non-existing? It doesn't matter. They don't report on anything except all this. And now the leaked report came out that they may be holding document charges in New Jersey because of where the actual supposed showing of the documents occurred was at Bedminster. So, again, there's just a lot going on here. But no, Donald Trump is in. He's not moving anywhere.
Congressman, I think that part of it is that some of these overzealous, far left-leaning prosecutors just want to be part of it. They want to be able to say, well, I indicted them too, because now it's like one is begetting the other. Alvin Bragg started off, now DOJ. Nobody wants to be left out, or their following is going to say, well, what's wrong with you? Well, how come you couldn't get Trump as well? But I want to turn now to the special counsel, John Durham. He'll be testifying in front of the House Judiciary Committee next week to discuss his report about the FBI. Now, what do you expect to come from this?
I think you're going to see a lot of very upset Republicans. You're going to see a lot of things with Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, many other Andy Biggs, many of the others, Chip Roy, who are going to dig deep into things that we already knew that seemingly were overshadowed, in my opinion, because I worked on this one as in Congress as ranking member, that just why were they not prosecuted? It's one thing to come out with this quote. I've heard this so many times in the media, scathing report on the DOJ. Well, a scathing report, I'm sorry, what do? Put him in timeout? I mean, if it's a scathing report and they did something wrong, then they should have been held accountable. Where was the indictments instead of low-level indictments for something, lying or withholding documents? I mean, this is frustrating for all of us who know that they lied to the FISA court. They withheld information. That they did this from a political standpoint. This was just something that you're going to see a lot of come, I think, Wednesday when this hearing happens. You'll see the DOJ side being represented by the Democrats. On the others, and it's going to be back and forth. And the unfortunate thing is, at the end of the day, it'll cause more frustration, more angst, a lot of headlines, but unfortunately, I just don't see a lot happening because he's just closed the case.
Well, our friend Doug Collins, you broke news here, DOJ being put in timeout. I like it. I like it, Congressman. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll see you again soon.